Hi guys, my name is Johnson Akins from Femtech Computer Institute, a place where we build the computer gurus. Today we are going to be building a login form with placeholder animation. A login form with placeholder animation. I have the form opened on my screen here. I have the login, that is the title, then the username as a placeholder text, the password as well as a placeholder text, and I have the login button. If I should go ahead to click on the login button, it will prompt the user to input username, which is an error message. It will likewise prompt the user to input password, which is an error message. If the user should click on the field for the username, you will notice that the placeholder text is being moved to the top and a line actually run from the left hand side to the right side of the field. And the same thing applies. If I should go ahead and click on this, you will see the same thing, that the line runs across and also the placeholder text for password is being moved to the top. Immediately I click out from one of the fields, it will reverse back to default. You can see that even though I click outside, you will see the line going back to default and the username text, which is for the placeholder, return back to where it was before. The same thing applies to this. You can see that, and if I should go ahead to input my name, Johnson, you will see that the text that is at the top here disappears. And if I should go to click on the login button, the error message is gone. And if I should go ahead and do the same thing here, let me put my password. Now, immediately I click again, the error message is gone. So we are going to be building this login form with placeholder animation from scratch. Without further ado, let's dive in. I've already created my project folder titled login form with placeholder animation. So inside my project folder, I have these three files here: the CSS file, the HTML file, and the JavaScript file. So I'll go straight to my HTML file now to start coding. I will give it a title of login form. So inside here now, I'm going to create a div with a class name of overall wrapper like this. Inside my overall wrapper, I'm going to create another div with a class name of form container like this. Now, inside the form container, I'm going to create another div with a class name of title container. So inside the title container, I'm going to create h2 tag, my heading tag, that is level 2, with a name of login form. With a name called login form. Go live to see. I'll open this with a live server. Now this is what we are doing. So we can be seeing what we are doing as we code. Login form. Now inside this place, after creating my title container, the next thing I want to do here is I want to create another container. The container name will be field container. So I'm creating another div with a class of field container like this. So inside my field container, I will be creating a form tag. The form tag, I'm not needing this, we're not using this. So far, we are not going to the next page. So I will remove that and I will put an ID of form. So after that, inside my form tag, I will create an input tag with a type of text and also with a placeholder user name. A placeholder with user name like this. Fine. So underneath the input tag, I'm going to create another div with a title of username transition line. So the name of the class will be username transition line. Username transition line. So underneath the div titled username transition line will be empty. There won't be anything there. Then I'm going to create a p tag, which is paragraph tag, and with an ID of username error. This will be responsible for the error message for username. So now that I am done with the username field, I want to create the password field. So to create the password field, I will go ahead and create my input tag with a type of password, just like this. Password. Then I will give it a placeholder. The placeholder name will be password. Password. Just like this. Then I'm going to give it an ID of password as well. Password. Fine. Now, after this has been done, then I'm going to create a div with a class name of password transition line. Password transition line. Yes. So underneath the div which I just created, and I will create a paragraph tag with an ID of password error. Password error. This will be responsible for the error message for password field. So then finally, I will be creating the button tag, which is this. Inside the button, I will type my login word there. So that is the login button. So now that I am done with the HTML, I want to do the styling, but before I can do the styling, I have to link the CSS file to the HTML tag. So to do that, I will come immediately after my closing title tag, and I will put my link. Inside the link, href, then I will put the name of the CSS file, which is login form with placeholder animation.css. Then the type of the file should be text/CSS. I have linked the CSS file to the HTML. So I want to link my script as well. My script, which is the JavaScript aspect of it. Then the script with a source of login form with placeholder.js. So now I have linked my script file to my HTML. Likewise, I have linked my CSS file with my HTML. The next thing is to start the styling. The first thing I would like to do is called the add reset. That's the first thing. So I will set my margin to a 0px, my padding to a 0px, box sizing to border box. Then I will give it a font family of Lucida. Then after this, I will go to my HTML to grab my overall, which is the first one here, overall wrapper, and style it. So I will paste what I have copied, and I will come here. I will give it a width of 100 VW, which is an abbreviation for view width. Then I will give it height of 100 VH, which is an abbreviation for view height. Then I will give it a display of flex. That is one of the display type. Then I will justify the content to center. I will align the item to center as well of the screen. Now, the next thing now is I want to grab the form container from my HTML, which is this. I'll just copy this, and I'll come here to start styling it. Fine. Now, the form container, I will give it a width of 400 px. Then I will give it a box shadow of 2px, 2px, 5px. Then I will give it a shade of gray using 888. Then I want to give it a border radius of 10px. Then I want to give it overflow. The overflow should be hidden. Yes. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to grab my title container from the HTML and style. Go back to my CSS here. Then I will paste this. Then I will give it a width of 100%. Then background color of blue, which is this 000FFF. That is blue. Then I will go ahead now to target my H2, which is this. So I will go back to my CSS. I will still paste this, then H2. Then I will give it a color of white. Then I will make the text to come to the center, text align, which is center. Then I will give it a padding of 20px is 0px. The 20 applies to the top and the bottom. The 0 applies to the left and the right. So the next thing now is I want to grab another class, which is the field container here. So I will go back to my CSS, then I will paste this, then I will give it a width of 100%. Padding of 30px is fine. The margin top, as margin to the top, I will give it 10px. Yes, now I have that. So the next thing I want to target is my input, which is this. That is the field here. I want to target the field. So I will put field container, then input, Then I'll give it a width of 100%, height of 60 px, that is 60 pixel. Then I will remove the border to be none. Then I will give it a border bottom, and the border bottom I will give it 1px solid, and it's going to be blue as well. 000FFF, that is for blue. Then the font size, I will change it to 16px, 16 pixel. Then I will remove the outline. Now, what do I mean by the outline? As you click now, you can see there's still a black line, and that is the outline. So I'm going to remove the outline. I'm going to remove the outline, and the outline will be none. So if I go ahead to click now, the outline is gone. So the next thing I want to do is I want to grab this class name, which is the username transition line. I will go back to my CSS and I will style this. Now I want to combine the two together. I have two of that, which is for password transition line. I want to style them together by using comma on the first one before putting the second one. So I will give this a width of 100% like this. Then I will give it height of 2px is fine. Height of 2px is fine. Then I will give it a background color of that same blue, background color of the blue that we are using. Then I will give it a transition of 1 second. Now, if you take a look at the sample we are working with, which is this one, you will see this is the line. This is the line we are creating. You can see that this blue line, and that is what we have here now. I'm going to remove the 100 and I will leave it on a 0%. That means it will not show at all. I will go to my next line and I will type input focus like this, plus next sibling, that is under CSS combinator, next sibling, that is the plus sign, dot the first one, which is this. Then I will put width of 100% like this. So if I should go now to click, it will run from the left to the right, and that is what we have here. That is what we have here. So back to this. So I will do the same thing to the other one, which is input, then focus like this. My next sibling, our combinator. So this will be password transition line. Then here I will set the width to be 100%, just like this. So I should have this working now. So that is how to create the line that runs across. The next thing I want to do is I want to style my button. To style the button, so I will just come here. This is the button. So I will go ahead to style the button by coming here. The button is inside the field container as well. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Button, I will give it a width of 100%, a height of 50 px. Then I will give it a border of none. Then I will give it a background color of blue using my hexadecimal. Yes, I will give the text a color of white. Font size, I will change the font size to 18px. 18px. Then I will give it a cursor of pointer. Yes. Then margin, I will set the margin to the top to be 10px. Then the right hand side to be 0px and the bottom to be 40px. Fine. Now I have styled the button. So the next thing I want to do is I want to style the P tag that we created for the error messages. Now I'm going to style the P tag, which is this, under the field container as well. P tag. Then I'll give it a color of red, because it's an error. A color of red like this. Then the margin to the top, that is margin top. Margin top will be, the margin top will be 10px. Margin top will be 10px. Margin bottom also, I will give it 40px. Then I will give it a font size of 13px. 13px. The P tag that we styled will not show until we use JavaScript. Now we are done with the styling, so we need to go to the JavaScript to now make it interactive, like what we have here. So you see, we have already achieved some of the results that we have here. So for this username to be animated, we need to go to our JavaScript. So I will go straight to my JavaScript file now, and I will go ahead to grab each of the ID. The first one is the form. I will go to my JavaScript, then I will use my let form equals to document.getElement by ID form, like this. Now the next thing I would need here is the username ID, which I did not put. So I will just go ahead and put ID for the username because we need it. Yes. So the username ID, which I just inserted now, I'm going to copy that, and I will go straight to my JavaScript and define a variable for that, which is equal to document.getElement as well by ID. Then here I will paste that. So the next one now is mine. I will go ahead to grab the P, that is the username error ID, which is this one. I will copy this, go to my JavaScript file. I will paste that equal to document.getElement by ID. I will do that. I will end my statement with a semicolon. So I will go ahead to grab my password ID, which is this. I will go to my JavaScript as well. Then I will do document.getElement by ID. Then I will paste my password. Then I will do the same thing for the password error, which is this one. Password error. Then I will go back to my JavaScript and I will do that. Define a variable document.getElement by ID. Fine. Now I have these variables declared. So I've grabbed my ID from the HTML. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create the first one, which is the form.onSubmit equals to a name, which I give check form, which I'm going to use as my function name. Then the next one is the user, which is this. I'll just copy this to save. Fine. Then this will be on focus. On focus, then the name of the file will be move up username placeholder, move up username placeholder. Now, mind you, any name can be here. These are the keywords that you cannot actually do without. The unsubmit and the unfocus, they are these are event handlers. So you need to make sure this is the same. But any name can be the names that you have here, which is your variable names, are these ones, which I'm talking of the form and the username. Then this is a reference name for the function which we are about to create. So any name can be here as well. It is not a must to use the same name like what I have done here. So the next thing I want to grab now is username again for the blur. So this will be on blur like this. Then the on blur, I'm going to give it move down username placeholder, move down username placeholder like this. Move down username placeholder. That is correct. So the next thing I want to do is the password. So I'm going to grab the password here. The password, then the password, just the same thing, which is on focus like this. Then it will be just the same thing, but let me go ahead to edit this to save time. I will copy this and I will put this here, and I will change this to password. Move up password placeholder. Then the same thing applies to the next one. I will just copy this and I will edit. Then this will be password and this will be password. So I'll just do that password, something like that. That is just it to save time. Now that I have done this, so I need to now define my function. I want to define my function. So the first one which I want to define is this, which is a check form. The function name check form. That is the function name. So the first thing I want to do, I want to validate the form just like this one, this sample. If you click here, you see error message. And if you take a look at what we just created, if you click, there's nothing like error message yet. That is what we want to do here. So I will go ahead to use my if statement. I will use my if statement, then I will say username dot value, that is the value, that is the content, the write-up that the user of the form will be entering. I want to grab that. Dot value if it is equal to empty string, if it is equal to empty string, and that is the logical operator, password dot value as well if it is equal to empty string. If they are both equal to empty string, then what I want to do is I want to throw an error using the username variable which I define for the paragraph in HTML. So I will come here and I will just paste that, and I will use my inner text equal to please impute username, something like that. Impute username. Then I will end my statement, and I will do the same thing for the password too. I will just go ahead to grab the password, which is this. So I will come here and I will paste that, and I will say inner text as well equal to please impute password, something like that. Impute password. We need to apply a keyword to prevent the form from being submitted, which is return false, like this. So now if you click now, you see we have the please impute username, please impute password, just like the sample we are working with. You can see what we are trying to replicate, still the same thing. So this is what we have now. So now this is working. This is working. So if you take a look at this now, but if you click here, the placeholder text move to the top and the password likewise move to the top. But what we have here is not performing the action here. So we need to do that as well. So now we'll continue. But if you take a look at the sample, if you click here, the error message appears on both fields. But if you come here to type and click again, the error message here is gone. We are left with this. So let's check this. If you click here and click this, what happened? The 2 disappears. But that is not what we want to achieve. So let's make it look like what we have here, so that the user will know that it needs to put password before this error message disappears. And that is what we want to do here. That's what we want to do here. So now we'll continue writing by coming to here. Then we'll say we're going to use our else if like this. So inside the else if, we want to check if the username is username value is equal to empty string only. So if this happens to be true, then what we want to do is this. If the username is empty, then we want to throw a message like this: username error dot inner text equals to please impute username. Then please impute username. Then the password error message will be inner text. We're going to set it to empty string. Then we use the keyword return false. Then we'll continue again to do the same thing for the password field. Else if password dot value is equal to empty string as well, then want to throw a message, error message like this. So that will be password error dot inner text equal to the same message, which is please impute password, just like that. Then we're going to set the user name error to empty string. Like that. And we're going to use our keyword return false. Yes. Then finally, we're going to do something which is this. Else, like this. So inside our else password error, we're going to set it to empty string. Then we're going to set username as well, username error dot inner text to empty string. Then we end our statement. Then we're going to use return false because we are not submitting the form. Yes, we're not submitting the form. So return false. Now this should work the way we expected now. So if I click on this now, you can see if I type, then the error here is gone. If I go ahead to type here, the error here is gone. Now it's not actually submitting because of the way we have programmed the form. Now you can see that. Let me reload that page again. I click, I have error messages. If I come here to type, the first one disappears. The second one still remains. If I click, it disappears. Now we're able to achieve the way we have it here on the sample that we are trying to replicate. So the next thing now is the animation aspect of the placeholder, and that is what we want to do now. So to do that, we're going to come down, then this name that we reference here for the function, which is this one, we'll grab this, then we'll come down to define the function of this. Then we are going to grab the username dot class list dot add. Then we're going to put a class name that has not been created, but we'll go and do that immediately. So I'll put move placeholder text up. That is the name I'm going to give it. Move placeholder text up. Now that we have inserted a class that has not been created, so to create the class for this, I will just grab this, I will copy this, I will go back to my CSS, I will come directly to here to do the styling for the for what I just copied, that is the class list dot add method that I put in my JavaScript. So I'm going to target the placeholder like this. So here now, I'm going to give it a color of blue, 0000FFF, then transform, then I will say translate, that is to the y-axis, that is the vertical aspect of it. Then it should, I will give it minus 150, that is to the top. Then transition, I'll give it a transition of 0.5 seconds. Then a font size of, I'll give it a font size of 11 px. Yes. So if I should come now to, let me reload, you click now, you can see that it actually moves to the top. If I reload, it moves to the top. But if you See, you will notice that it is not actually returning back to default, just like this. You click out, it returns. You click in, it goes up, it returns. So we need to make it to return back to default. I will go back to my JavaScript to do that. But before I will go back, I will quickly do a styling here, which I'm going to make use of there. I will say move placeholder text down, move placeholder text down like this, placeholder like this. Then here I will just give it a transition, that is change in position, 0.5 seconds as well. Let's go to the JavaScript. So now I will go ahead to copy this, move down username, which is this, placeholder on block. Yes, I'll go ahead to copy this. Then find the function which I have not done, which is this. Then I will come here and I will type username dot class list, the same name that we did here, which is this one. I want to remove what I added. I'll just copy this, then I'll put right inside the quote. Fine. That is, it should remove the class that I added earlier. That is the meaning. Let's take a look at the browser. So if I come here to click, it goes off. If I click, you can see the rate at which it returns. Very, very fast. So if I should check what we are trying to replicate, if I click here, if I click back, see the way it returns, not like what we just did. See what we have here. You click, by the time you click back, it returns very, very fast. So we need to apply what we just did in our CSS, which is the we'll just say username as well dot class list dot add. Then inside here we need to grab this thing that we just did, which is this one I did, which is for the transition. So I will just come down, go straight to my JavaScript and paste this. So this should solve the problem. So you see, if I click, the rate at which it returns is not as fast as before. So this is exactly what we have here, and that is what we are trying to replicate. You can see that. So this is how it works. Now we're going to apply the same thing to the password. So to save time, I will just go ahead to copy this and edit it. I'll just copy this to edit. I will copy to edit. We have the move password, which is this. For the focus, I'll copy this. Then I will write a function. I'll write a function. Then inside the function, I'll copy this first one inside the function like this, and I'll paste, and I'll edit this name to password, just like that. Then I will do the same thing to the next name that we reference here, which is let me see, yes, for the unblock, which is this. I will copy this and I will define the function. Then I will go ahead to copy everything here and edit it. So this will be password and this will be password. Password. And that should actually work for it. So you click out, you click out. So now That is how it works. You can see that. Yes. So if I should click my login button, I have the error messages. Input, please input username, please input password. So if I should go ahead to click to start, immediately I enter my username, John, send. The placeholder text is gone. By the time I click login again, error message here is gone. If I do the same thing here, the error message is gone. So we're able to replicate exactly what we have here. And I believe you have learned a lot from this tutorial. If you want more of this, or you want a personal training, that is one-on-one training, either online or on site, you can WhatsApp the number on this screen, send a message to that number on the screen. That is the school line, +2 3 4 8 1 38 36 73 73. Send a WhatsApp message to that number or call that number for more inquiries regarding training on web programming. We've come to the end of today's tutorial. I'm still Johnson Akins from Femtech Computer Institute, a place where we build the computer gurus. Thank you for learning from us, and see you guys next time.